Geeks Gone Raw.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Scarfinger, and this is Scarcasm. Woo woo. This is crazy. One, because I didn't expect to still be here, but I've been doing this show for 11 years. I think that's absolutely bonkers. I think that's super bonkers. And yeah, so Scarcasm's anniversary was on the 17th. We are recording this on the 18th. We will explain that in a moment. And yeah, I really did not expect to be here this long. And you know what? I just, first of all, just as a blanket, I know I say it at the end of every show, but thank you to everyone that has kept up with us for all this time. A huge thank you to whoever it is that keeps downloading all the old shows. I appreciate you, Doug, whoever you are, or milady, whoever it is. Like, you know what I mean? Ma'am, sir, or ma'am, whoever it is that keeps downloading a whole bunch of old episodes. Thank you very much. We appreciate you greatly. So it's been a while since we actually recorded a show. Now, mostly, it's been because of, like, you know, things going on in our lives and, like, not being able to get up, and, like, you know, we finally get a show together and then something happens and it's like, I can't really do the show today, and then, like, shit just gets pushed off. And then, and, you know, because there's, I mean, you just had a real change in your life, and I'm getting ready to have a change in my life. And it's made, and I think, you know, and then, like, you know, all of the stuff happening in Texas with Sam, like, it's just been a lot going on lately. So it's kind of hard to get us together to do a show. But, so to kind of start this off and just kind of touch on this briefly, you got COVID.
Yeah. I did.
So that really affected. You know what? I did not know how much that would affect me. Like, when we're here, you're kind of my, podcast hetero life mate. Mm-hmm. But you're also you're also my punching bag here. And, like, you're like my audio punching bag. And, like, you know, you told us that you got it, and then when it got serious, when that whole situation got serious, I almost fell apart. Like, it was rough for me. I mean, nowhere near as rough as it is for you. Like, I'm not even comparing that. But as someone who knows you, as someone who cares about you, and also someone who knows that they can't do anything to help you.
Right. Well, that's what I thought that like tonight would have been good, is that you can do something to help me, which is just being social and stuff. Like, because after it's all been over with, yeah, during it was the weirdest shit ever. Because for one, when I did go to the doctor for it, I was just going, be like, what the fuck? I think I need to go to the doctor now. Because I don't really go to the doctor just because I'm nauseated. I need to go to the doctor and get something for this. Like, most of the time, unless it's something physical. Right.
It's gotta be something serious. Like, you know, like how it was when I was growing up. Like, I gotta be dying in order to go to the hospital. Like, you know, the only time I went to the doctor, like, when I was younger, and like, I knew that this was serious when my dad called out of work to take me to the doctor, is when my appendix was about to burst, and I went to fucking school that day.
Huh.
I was feeling terrible, and I went to school that day. Now, granted, this happened when I was a senior in high school, but I was feeling really horrible. So what I would do was I would hurry up, do my work, and just lay on the floor, like using my book bag as my pillow. And I would just lay on the floor. Like, I don't feel good. I'm just going to hurry up and do my work. And then I'm just going to lay down for the rest of the class. And that's pretty much what I did. And then when I got home, my dad was a third shifter. So like, when he's going to work, I'm just coming home from school. Like, it's basically a high and by situation.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I couldn't make it up the stairs because my bedroom was upstairs. So I couldn't make it up the stairs, and my dad called out of work. Do you know the mountains that have to be moved for my dad to call out of work? One, that's how I knew my dad loved me. Two, but like, that's the only time I can think of, like, where I ended up really going to the hospital in a very long time, because like, it had to be something serious.
Yeah.
So when you went, like, what were you feeling when you first went?
I was just feeling like, what the fuck is this shit? Because it was so strange. Because apparently it had been since that Wednesday. And the Thursday I just kind of took off work and just was like, well, I must have got a real bad cold, and I took off work and was gonna like take some NyQuil, and I slept all day. Because used to, I could like have a cold and just go right through anything. But now if I have a cold, it's just like, it wrecks me, and like I'm just not gonna like do the work that or just not be alert, so might as well just, I can take off and do my thing and then go back the next day. And then that's what I did. And then Friday I was fine. Saturday I was okay. That was my birthday. And then Sunday, it was like, it just decided just to kick me in every kind of jig it could possibly kick me in. And like, everything hurt, and I was aching. I woke up with like 101.6 or something fever. That whole other time, I didn't have no fever. They even checked me at work, no fever.
So did it feel like how the flu feels for some people, where they had the body aches and all of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, at that point it did. But then, like, that night, that broke. My fever went away because I woke up in completely soaked in sweat. And then I felt fairly good that night. And then the next day, that's when all the dizziness and shit started, to where I would, like, if I got up, if I was not laying down, I was like dry heaving burps and like phlegm and shit. And it wasn't even like even to where you would cough and like have like the chest knot, you know what I mean? It was like spit almost. It was like white spit like stuff. And I just was like, that must be what they call phlegm versus mucus. But so yeah, that was the thing. And I would take a shower and do it in the shower, and like if I wasn't laying down, I was doing that shit. So it must have been Tuesday when I went to the doctor, because that was the next day after that. Because after this, it's like I was sleeping most of the time, and I was at the hospital one day. I don't know which day that was. Because of my coughing and it hurting my back and stuff. And it was like feeling like I was getting stabbed in the back every time I coughed. That was like the whole thing is Ember called because I was just rallying in pain. And she was like, I'm calling the hospital. And she told me, I don't remember half of this shit. Actually, I don't remember none of the shit I said to her. I was like, why would I say that? Because she was like, I'm calling the ambulance. So I was like, what the fuck are they going to do to me? Or do for me?
Right.
And
yeah, she told me she felt guilty originally because of how, like your reaction to it all. But I talked to her for quite some time, quite a little bit. And I talked to her and I said, no, you did the best thing you could for him being in the situation that he was in.
yeah, I just don't know. You seen Saving Private Ryan when and what's his name's character is like sitting there talking about like times where he said stuff to his mom and he didn't know why he said that. Like, why would he do that? Like, and that's kind of like how I was thinking. Like why would I? But I wasn't like really all there because she told me that like when I got up, I didn't know where I was and stuff, or like why anybody was even at my house and I was like, really? I was that out of it? That's crazy. But then when I started getting a little bit better, I looked at a date and then it was like the 12th or some shit. And it was just the 7th. So like most of that time I just slept. So literally for like 10 days I barely like consumed anything. And that's probably why I'm feeling so weird now. So where the last couple of days... Well, the day I didn't go to work because of ice and stuff, they closed. But
I made it to work. Let me tell you, if your car is completely encased in ice, a little handheld scraper is not going to do you a whole lot. Like you're gonna put a lot of work in order to get that little handheld scraper to get all of the ice off of your car enough for you to make it to work. Only for you to be at work for 2 hours and be like, man, it's sleeting and shit now. Maybe we should go home. That was my day.
yeah, so today would have been my first day back, but the last couple of days before this, like, was I'm kind of better, but it's the last 2 days of like quarantine and stuff. Because I actually assumed that like the quarantine's 14, but I'm going to be feeling bad for a good 3, and then like the rest of the time I'm just going to be playing video games. Nope, that whole fucking time, aside from 2 days, I was like asleep. But the last couple of days, it was just like, I don't know, it's just felt so weird. I don't know if it was because of the loss of time or whatnot, but I would sit there and like the sun would be out. I couldn't really see like the computer screen enough to play a video game because most video games are kind of darker, even if you put the brightness up. And then put the brightness 2 up, it fucks up the art style. I was trying to play not the newest one, but that latest Modern Warfare. Okay. Because I had never played that before. But yeah, it was just too dark to like even see what the fuck I was shooting or anything. So I would just sit there like on the couch, just like waiting for the sun to go down, and just like thinking like, what the fuck am I doing? Like everything just felt like, why am I even here? Like, I don't know. I just started.
It kind of sent you. It kind of sent you into a bit of a depression.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, just because of, everything was different. Like I just remember going to work and coming home and talking to Amber and then playing. I was playing that new Xbox game, the horror game, and then I remember being almost done with that, and then all this shit happened, and that wasn't the routine anymore. The kids aren't here. Normally that would be a good thing. The kids aren't here. Let's watch some movies, and hang out, and play something, or
fuck.
Yeah, or that, or any of that kind of stuff. Get some food that we don't have to share, or some food that the kids don't eat anyway. You know what I mean? And none of that stuff was happening because she was sick too, and but she didn't get it as bad as I did. I mean, I know she was because she couldn't taste and stuff either, but I think she got hers started like a couple of days after mine, and now hers is stopping. She can taste now. So I think it just kind of like was a little bit delayed for her, but she didn't get the coughing and stuff. I think the coughing and all that was the worst part. Well, the dizzy thing, but she didn't get that. The dizzy thing sucked just because I couldn't do anything even if I wanted to. Even if I was feeling pretty good to like lay there, you can't lay in a bed and like even watch something. You know, you got to be at least propped up. But if I was like not like laying down, I was dizzy. So it was like, you might as well, what is there for me to do but to sleep? So everything is like, I've lost February, you know, the kids aren't here. Amber's not really feeling good, so she's in the bed. So I was kind of doing for her what she was doing for me, you know, just getting her what she needed and stuff. And then I would just come out here and sit because I don't know, like no movie or video game really felt like anything I wanted to do. So even then, I would end up falling asleep in the afternoon, and that's what happened today. I fell asleep around 3.
Okay.
And then when I woke up, I thought it was tomorrow and I'm going to work, but I don't know, everything. I just think I just need to get back into a normal.
But just in general, you are feeling better than you felt before.
Yes.
And that's the most important part.
Right.
But like, there's still people out there that are still not taking this thing seriously. And you just heard just one account of how this has gone for someone. And like, do the things you need to do. And if you can't, stay your ass at home. And like, you know what I mean? Like all of these things, like these people want to go out and do all of these things. And it's just like, bruh, no, ain't none of this shit worth your life and worth the impact this has on your life. If you can avoid it, man. And like, I know there's a lot of people that are that are talking about not getting the vaccine and all of that kind of shit. I'm like, bruh, if I can avoid something hitting me the way that it hit you, I'm getting a fucking vaccine. I'm on the list. It's just like I'm not special enough to be at the front of the list, but I'm definitely on that list. Right. And I'm like, if I can do anything to make sure that I don't get this, I'm gonna do it. Like, like I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't feel that way about any of this stuff. I just know I can't, and like coming real soon, like, because like my life changes. I'm going to be getting my own place and I'm going to be staying on my own, and I can't afford to be sick at that point.
Right.
So like, if this is going to be it, if that vaccine is going to help me out, then let's do that. I can't not, So
it might,
I don't know.
Might knock you out for just a little bit, because I heard that like you might not feel good for like maybe a day. And this is coming from like Fred, who's like a reasonable person. You know what I mean?
Most people say that it's the second hit is what gets you.
Mm.
They said because the shot is in 2 parts. A lot of people say the second part is what really hits you, and it may put you down for a day or 2.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I said, I'm on the list. Hopefully everything goes well. I don't. I would rather not feel so great for a day or so than to get this and be fucked up for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
and possibly like really really harm my life, because there's some people that have like after effects of this that have been lasting quite a bit longer than what other people have. So I don't want to. I don't wish that for anyone. So if you can get this thing, if you can get this vaccine, please do. I can't stress this enough. Like, please do. I get it. Like, you're worried about it. You're worried about what you think that the government is willing to do to you. Yeah, but the government ain't willing to do something more fucked up than this virus is trying to do.
Right.
I mean, I got a coworker who thinks that it's going to change her DNA. So, like, as if anything can change your DNA. But I got a coworker who thinks it's going to change her DNA. So it's just all of this is not good. But the sooner the majority of us can get on this thing and get it, we might be back to some semblance of normal. It's going to be a new normal, but I would rather have a new normal than for it to keep continuing like this.
Right.
So, how do you want to proceed from here? Like, do you want to just do the show like we normally do, talk about the stuff that we've been into, or just kind of just talk?
We can talk about the stuff we've been into, because before all this stuff going down and a little bit after, I had been doing some stuff, or consuming some media, I guess.
Okay. Now, before we do that, I'm gonna tell y'all about my hiccups.
Okay.
So Tuesday afternoon, I'm eating lunch, and after my lunch is over, I get the hiccups. Now, hiccups are not uncommon for me. Not uncommon for me at all. It's it kind of runs in my family. Like I tell people, one time my dad had hiccups for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the hiccups, and it was just bothersome, but it wasn't like the worst thing in the world. I did all of the things, all of the home remedies, and drink your glass of whatever the fuck and hold your breath and all that kind of stuff. The only thing I can't do is get scared, because like I'm from Newport News, nothing really scares me. That's what I told some people at the store, because I thought it was funny. But so it would stop for a little bit, and then it would come back.
Uh-huh.
Then it would stop for a little bit, and then it would come back. So it was off and on for the rest of that day. And I think I've been watching TV on the bed, in the bedroom, a lot these days. And because I'm laying on the bed, I could randomly fall asleep at any time. So I guess at some point I fell asleep, and then I woke up and it was like 2 a.m. Now, if you've ever had the hiccups for a significant amount of time, you realize that after a while, hiccups hurt. Like it hurts my chest.
Mm-hmm.
And so I woke up and it was like 2 something, because I woke up and I looked at my phone, and I don't know if I was still having the hiccups while I was asleep, but man, was it painful. It felt like someone there's this mission in the Division 2, right?
Uh-huh.
Where you go down into, I think it's like some sort of tunnel system, or like abandoned subway, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck. But you go down there, and then when you get to the end part, you're fighting a whole bunch of people, but there's a guy with a sledgehammer banging on a door in the middle of the room while you're fighting the rest of them. After a while, he breaks through that door, and then you have to fight him. Then he chases you around with a fucking sledgehammer. My chest felt like that door during the first part of that mission. It just felt like someone was taking a sledgehammer to my chest, and every time I hiccup, it was like bang, 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 bang. And I don't know whether it was because I was asleep. I may not have been hiccuping, or I may have been hiccuping, but it felt like me waking up. The hiccups was like, okay, we need to get our reps back in, because I was hiccuping a lot, and it hurt every single time, like someone was banging a sledgehammer against my chest. So,
Wow.
Eventually I was able to just kind of take some ibuprofen for the pain, and like I was able to do a little bit of the breathing stuff, and I got it to slow down, and I got it to slow down enough to where it wasn't bothering me enough to fall asleep. I took like 4 ibuprofen. Like this, that's how bad it hurt. I took like 4 ibuprofen. So eventually I went back to sleep, got up, and I felt great. I felt great when I woke up, got ready to go to work. Everything was cool. I walked outside. The moment I sat in my car, it started again. So, and then at work, it kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I would feel fine for a little bit, then hiccups again. And then the pain started coming back about noon-ish. So eventually I had to leave work. I was like, I have to go somewhere and figure out something. So I went to the doctor, and they gave me some muscle relaxers. And here's the thing. Muscle relaxers make me very loopy. I am a cheap drunk, and I am an easy high. You know what I mean? Like, so like you give me some medicine that's supposed to make me a little bit loopy. Almost anything that you say, you probably shouldn't drive a car on this, will fuck me up. You know, except Vicodin. For some reason, I took Vicodin very well. And Vicodin didn't bother me very much at all. I was just like, I don't know what the big deal is. I don't know. Vicodin is the only thing, but like any kind of muscle relaxer or some shit like that, and I'm getting fucked up that day. So I knew that about myself, but I also knew that because it got pushed off, I had to record a podcast. I had to record Return to Oswald yesterday. Return to Oswald is the show that I do with Rashani and Brandon at Hindsight Reviews. They review movies and stuff like that, and then we do a show about the HBO show Oz. If we go through it episode by episode. Cheap plug. But because Brandon is in Texas, and you know what's happening in Texas right now.
Their lights are getting shut off.
Yeah, so his power was back on, but he had a pipe burst, so he was in a hotel. He's actually recorded the show from the hotel lobby. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's so like if he was dedicated enough to have to record that show from the hotel lobby, I can't be like, I can't record the show. I got fucking hiccups. So I did. So, and you know, like he had a pipe burst and shit. You know what I mean? Like there's some things have happened that is like way worse than motherfucker. I got the hiccups. So I did that whole show.
Hold on.
Are you gonna cut this out? If he doesn't cut this out, so yeah, I hadn't take the medicine yet, so I did the whole show with the hiccups. There's a couple of times where I kind of paused, but when it was like really bad, I muted. And then there was times, if you listen to the episode, if you listen to the last episode, you can clearly hear where I got asked a question and I probably had something to say, and he was just like, Mike, like, Scar, you got something to say? And I'm just like, nope. And I'm like unmuted myself just enough to say, nope, I'm good. Or like, nope, Brandon said what I thought I was going to say. That type of thing happened, during the show because I had not taken the medicine yet because I did not want to be loopy for the podcast. Even though, let's be honest, being loopy for a podcast is the reason why I do podcasts. That's a factoid that a lot of long-standing listeners should know that, because when I got started, I took a whole bunch of cold medicine and I was feeling loopy that day, but I did a podcast anyway, and people liked me being loopy. That's the only reason why I started Scarcasm in the first place, because people liked that show and said, that was funny. I would listen to a show if you did it. I guess now back to your regularly scheduled podcast.
So,
you good?
Back.
Okay, I talked a little bit. I don't know how much how much of that you want to cut out, but I did talk a little bit after you walked away, just talking to the people. But what I was saying was I did that whole show before I took the medicine. So like, there's times where I was hiccuping and I was muted, and then there was times where I was talking and like you can hear me like kind of pause because I was hiccuping, but it was like it was not like a audible hiccup.
Yeah.
Which I had a lot of those too, but not really during the show. So yeah, and then after that I took the medicine, and I was up for a little bit, but eventually that shit put me down. I don't remember very much that happened after I took that medicine at all. I took a shower and stuff. I took the medicine and took a shower immediately because I'm like, it's going to take a little bit for this to work. So at least I can wash my ass. And then I don't remember nothing else that happened after that. Nothing at all.
Huh.
So yeah, health issues abound. Now I'm not saying that our health issues are equal at all, but man, did that shit hurt.
Well, it does sound like the coughing, how it hurt my back and stuff, like a similar.
Yeah, and I still feel pain. If I cough or sneeze right now, I feel pain.
Yeah.
And it's not like a sharp pain. It's a very dull pain at this point.
Like you're just sore because it's kind of with the hiccup is like your diaphragm, which is a muscle. So it's probably like you're working out this muscle.
But for some reason, it always affects me like in my chest, like right center chest, like where your breastplate is. Like it affects me right there. Like your diaphragm is like below that, right?
Yeah, but like I'm sure that all that stuff is connected, and
yeah, I mean it has to be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no scientist, but I'm pretty sure everything in you is connected in some way, shape, or form.
Right. I think that's how it works.
I believe that's how bodies work.
Yeah.
That should be the show title. I believe that's how bodies work. I need to write that down. All right. So if you want to do this, I know that you. I don't want to put too much on you right now.
Right.
So if you want to just go through some stuff fast and just kind of get some stuff out the way.
Yeah.
Shit, I lost the show title that fast. I believe that's how bodies work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I had started playing that game. That's why before I was like that new Xbox game. It's like the scary game. I forgot the title of it, but because it's been so long since I played this shit. Oh, right. The Medium. I was playing the Medium, okay. And I was digging it. Like it was interesting because it was I thought it was going to be like a third person type game. Well, of course it's third person, but like like the Gears of War over the shoulder type game. You know what I mean? But it actually does play kind of like your old Resident Evil or Silent Hills, like kind of like like a cinematic fixed camera angle, and you're kind of moving through an area like that. But there's no like true combat, so that kind of takes away some of the frustration of trying to revisit a lot of those old games, is trying to like fight shit and you got a fixed camera angle. Right. So the only thing, I mean, there's things that can kill you, but it's more or less like running away from them. Like you have like these chase sequences and whatnot by this giant demon thing, which the voice actor, I think that's actually, Troy Baker that did that monster, but he did a really good job on the,
Troy Baker does everything.
Yeah, I know he does everything, but then when there's certain things that aren't like Troy Baker shit, you're like, holy shit. Okay, I didn't know that was him doing that monster thing, but the monster is pretty cool. But I was digging.
Troy Baker does do a voice of something called Maw.
Yeah, that's the demon thing. It's called Maw, but it's just like runs after you and like says like some fuck shit, you know. But one of his main things that he would say is he's like, it can't end here. Everything ends through me, or something like that. But he says it pretty cool. But yeah, I was digging that, and that's pretty much what I was playing when all the shit went down. So like for a while, I wasn't really playing anything, and then when I started getting better, I was like, I kind of want to buy something, and but there's apparently some big lunar sales or whatnot, and the only thing I really thought, all of a sudden that just popped in my head, I was like, I haven't played that last Modern Warfare game that was supposed to be pretty realistic and shit. So I picked up the campaign of that, which I think the multiplayer and stuff is free, like the Warzone.
No, the Warzone is free. That's the Battle Royale.
Oh, okay.
But one cool thing about that game is the multiplayer is crossplay.
Oh, well, I guess what I bought I mostly bought it for the single player, but I guess I bought the multiplayer as well because, well, it would come with whatever I bought, but it was on sale, and I was trying to, of course, I said it before, to where there's some like dark parts where you're going through with night vision. I couldn't see that very well with like sun blaring through the windows, even with the curtains closed. You still have that kind of like ambient light to where it really fucks with your screen.
Right.
And and it's basically that this wall has the windows. I mean, if it was a different wall, it probably wouldn't have affected it that bad. But since this is that certain spot, it was bad. So I waited, and I did dig that, and it's pretty cool. And I also played some of this game called Hades, which you can think of it kind of like it's a roguelike, but it's like a Diablo type roguelike, to where it plays kind of like Diablo.
That's that game that everyone loves on the Switch, right?
Yeah. Which in theory, I don't like roguelikes, to where I'm like, if I want to play a game, I want to play it and not have it like start at the beginning or whatever every time I die. But normally they know that, like the newer ones, and there's interesting ways that like make it fun. And because I didn't think I'd like it until I played Dead Cells, and I was like, you know what? There's a time and a place for this. And the time is when you ain't got much fucking time to play a video game, but you want to play something. Might as well play a little bit of Hades or Dead Cells, because if you die, you're not going to like have any like real story progress, and you can just like kind of like veg out for a little bit, play it, maybe level up for a little bit, and you don't feel like, oh man, I can't play this right now because I'm going to be stuck in this, and I'm going to want to finish the level or whatever, because that's how I would want to actually do some progress before I get off. And in something like that, I could literally play for 10 minutes and, get the feel of whatever I'm trying to play and like get off, you know what I mean? So that's kind of what I like about those type of games, where there's no commitment as much, and
I get it.
and I did pick up Valheim, but I haven't played that yet. And I didn't know if I was going to pick it up or not, because it's another thing to where I don't know if I'm going to like a survival game, and then I play a survival game with friends, and it's like really fucking fun.
So apparently that game is the shit, sir. Almost every video that I've seen on YouTube has been, this game is the shit.
Yeah. So I picked it up. My brother and them, they all picked it up, and I actually picked it up because I was at the very end of my coronavirus stuff when I was still feeling bad. I had threw on some of my old YouTube videos, and I was watching through some old Battlefield videos and stuff, and just to like, you know, and I was like kind of missing hanging out with the Dad's Hideout crew and all that kind of stuff. And I actually went on their Discord, and a few of them were playing that, and I was like, oh shit. So yeah, that was our initial thing that we're thinking I might pick it up to play with some of them. And then my brother picked it up, and I was like, fuck it, might as well pick it up now. So
right.
I haven't played it yet, but from the screenshots, it looks cool. Like, survival games are really cool, but you have to have friends and stuff to play with. And I don't really think I would dig the ones like Rust, or where there's other people trying to fuck you up too.
Yeah, or like what's the one with the dinosaurs? Is it Ark?
Ark, yeah.
Yeah, that one. I watched someone play that, and like I watched him like go through a whole bunch of stuff, gather a whole bunch of resources, build a little hut for himself, and made a little box where he can store all of his gear and stuff in, and he locked it and all of that kind of stuff, and made sure that everything was good. He left and came back, and the Tyrannosaurus ran right straight through that shit and destroyed the whole fucking thing. Like that part. That part, and like I watch a lot of people just play games, and like that part like had me like, and he was just like, and then here's the worst part about it, he put the time in and he did it all again. And now this is early Ark, so I don't know how much of this still stays the way that it is, but this is early Ark. So he actually took the time and did all of the stuff again. He was playing by himself.
Yeah.
And then a Brontosaurus did the same thing. So like some sort of sauropod did the same thing, and he's just like, fuck this game. And that's my thinking about Ark. I would hate to get into a game and do all of this stuff, and then like next thing I know, the shit's gone, and it had the reason why it's gone has shit to do with me.
Right.
And so
you said that he played by himself too, and yeah. I don't think it'll be very fun just to like basically play naked and afraid and just like be by yourself and trying to like get a stick here, a stick there, and dude, I mean that's the way you can play it, but I don't think that's the way I would like to play it, because when I played Conan, I had a lot of fun with that shit, and that's because I had a big group, and we had basically a giant fortress, and we were going and like doing dungeons and shit. It felt like playing Destiny or like Skyrim or something, but you're going through with a group of people, and like there were some jumping puzzles and like some things that we had to do and put rocks in certain places to get through to find this boss and stuff. And all that stuff, I wouldn't even got to if I was sitting there putting two sticks together by myself. You know?
Right. 100%. I get it.
But, so they're not that bad, and they're not as daunting as long as you have like a group of people that were, because you're always going to have that one person that knows everything about the shit. And then you have, a couple of people that are just there for fun, and then, and someone that's kind of the leader, that's making sure that everybody's got their shit together. Because sometimes you can be like, fuck it, I just gonna go kill a couple of these basic wolves or whatever, get the shit, bring it back to the base, and that was what I was gonna do that day. And that took me 15 minutes of game time. And, so that was, but we haven't played that in a while. A lot of this shit to where I would say is my 2020 games of the years. I don't even know came out in 2020, but like,
Yeah, that's why I never say my game of the year. I never say my game of the years. These are the favorite games that I played this year. Like that's what I say. Favorite games that I played this year. Games that I started this year count for me.
Because I think 2020 for me was a year of playing with friends. Like I didn't really finish much other than Cyberpunk, and I think I might have finished that in 2021. But there was a couple of things, but like it was mostly like playing Conan with that group, playing golf with your friends, with the Bad Fighter Figures guys, and yeah, and like those are like two of the main ones in in Destiny. Conan, golf, and Destiny is when I played the most in 2020.
Okay.
But yeah. But as of watching stuff, I just watched.
I didn't talk about what I played yet.
Oh, I thought we were going back and forth, but go ahead.
We didn't go back and forth because you just went and you just kept going. So how was that a back and forth, sir?
I mean, I thought we were going back and forth of what we were doing. Like I'm going.
No, I'm gonna talk about my games, and I'm gonna be a lot faster than you.
Well, it's been a while. I needed some talking.
Yep, I got you. So I have I play a little bit of the Division 2, but that's only because I was playing with, I got on to play something else that I had to download, and that download was going to take forever, because I no longer have a wired connection because the cable that connects my router with my modem, my girlfriend tripped on and ripped all of the cords out of the jack. So I'm wireless again. Yay me, which is slower. So while I was downloading something, I just wanted to play something. So I went on play some Division 2 with my cousin and them. That was fun. I actually put out a post saying that I was kind of missing playing the Division. But I went back and I know previously I said that I had started playing the Division 1 again, but I haven't played very much due to making candles and wax melts and trying to get a website up and running. But I went back and I went through the story and I finished the story of Division 1 again. And man, that's still a good fucking game. So I played both of the divisions. And I did a lot in the Division 1, doing matchmaking with randoms to get the story quests done, because I got to the point where it changes a little bit, where they add another faction, and that faction is rough. Basically the military faction. Once you get towards the end, a faction comes in, and those missions are really hard to do solo. I did a lot of it solo. I say I did about 75% of it solo, but this shit I could not do by myself. I just couldn't. So I did some matchmaking, and that was cool. And I really enjoyed the Division 1, and I know a lot of people are going back. So I wanted to start over because I wanted to get the game's mechanics down again, because it is very different than the Division 2. So when someone wants to go back and do like the survival mode or something like that, I had to remember how to play this game. So I did that. There's a lot of people that are like really pissed off at 2K right now. Apparently, 2K,
isn't people always pissed off at 2K?
No, apparently the game is damn near unplayable. And like a lot of people are having issues, and they have not, 2K has not been very communicative about, what they were going to do to fix the problems. So a lot of people have gone on and started playing live again. Some people are going back to the current gen, and some people have even gone back to play 2K20 instead of 21. And some people have gone back to play live. And I try to tell people about live. Like, I know it's Live 19 and it's 3 years old, but compared to 2K, live is just fun. It's not the hardcore basketball sim that requires you to pay money that 2K is, but live is just fun. and a lot of people have been going over and actually having fun. So I got in and I played a little bit. I'm terrible, especially because I haven't played in a while. So I'm not very good at it. So, but I went on and I just played a whole bunch of online stuff. I did not play any single player stuff at all. It's the only game that I play any kind of versus mode online at this point. And man, that game is fun, and I think more people should play it. I think you should try it. I don't know how much you care about basketball. Probably not very much at all.
But is it like on the Game Pass?
Yeah, if you have Ultimate, because they added all of the EA Access stuff to Ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, I only have Ultimate. Like, I don't really see the point on getting the regular Game Pass.
I had regular Game Pass until they announced Ultimate, because they announced Ultimate right when my Xbox Live was about to run out, and I was like, well, I'll just change it to Ultimate. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't make any sense to not have Ultimate when either you pay for Xbox Live and Game Pass, or you just pay for them both and get it done. Yeah. And that's kind of how I felt about it. But yeah, I think Live is like super fun, and I think more people should play it. And once I finished The Division, I wanted to play something similar, and I did not want to play Destiny. So remember I said I was downloading the game, and that's how I ended up playing the Division 2, because that was already downloaded.
Yeah.
I re-downloaded Anthem, and I started but I didn't actually play it until like right before this show started. I was playing Anthem when the show was originally supposed to start. So I stopped playing. So I did the beginning stuff, and I played like one mission. I don't know. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Did I do something wrong, or does Anthem automatically do matchmaking? Because I selected that first mission that you get once you do all of the tutorial stuff and the beginning stuff, and you have that first mission that you do. It did matchmaking for me, and I was like, when the fuck did I select matchmaking?
I think it's kind of like the only time I played it was during like the beta and stuff, and I think I remember playing with people then too. So it might have been kind of like in Destiny to where you can't really turn off matchmaking for like strikes. I think it's kind of like that. But you don't have to talk to them and stuff.
Oh no, we didn't do no talking. But I had a full group. We were all level 2s doing that mission. And that was actually pretty cool. And I was actually second when it came to like the points scored. So I felt very accomplished. I like that game. I know that eventually it's going to turn to something that I don't like, but here's the thing. The part where it's going to turn to something I don't like is the same part that I get to in every live service game where I stop playing. I usually stop playing at end game.
Mm-hmm.
When it stops being about your level and it starts being about your power level or your light level or your gear score and all of that other stuff, where the grind really starts is usually where I leave. The only reason why I didn't do that for the Division 2, because I did that for the Division 1. The only reason why I didn't do that for the Division 2 is because I had someone to actually play the game with that was a much higher level than me, and it just gave me a whole bunch of shit. So
also in Division, I didn't really see, like, I could see me just making a new character willy-nilly in the Division and not really caring as much because like in Destiny, you're like, have certain named weapons that are like the Gallahorn or something. You're not going to delete your character if you have a Gallahorn. You know what I mean? But like in the Division, it's like, well, at some point I'll probably get another good assault rifle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like stash space is like really a problem. Is like a huge problem. And keep in mind, all of your characters use the same stash. It's not like Destiny where you have to put it somewhere specific to transfer it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I was trying to hold in
Well,
that
so
sneeze.
there's no vault or whatever.
There is a stash, but that one stash box is for all of your characters.
Well, yeah, I mean, your vault in Destiny is for all your characters, but it's very large.
I think you got 300 pieces. You have 300 pieces, I believe, to put in your stash. And that's all guns, all of the armor pieces, like all of that stuff goes in the same place. And when you are someone like me, and I have 4 characters, I have all 4 of the characters you can have. You kind of run out of space pretty fast.
Yeah.
But one good thing about the Division 1, that your blueprints for the things that you can craft are set by the level. When you craft into Division 2, you craft at the level that you are. But so what I would do is, like, if it was something that I needed, that I had like a blueprint for, or like something that I knew I was going to need in the future, I would go to my other max level character, craft a whole bunch of stuff, and put it in the stash. So when I got to that level, I had these pieces. And in the Division 1, your characters also share money. However much money that you have between all of your characters. So after every level, I would just go buy new stuff. I was just like, I'm level 26 now. Let me sell this level 25 version of all of this stuff and buy level 26 versions of all of this stuff. Because I had like $800,000 that I don't really use for a whole lot.
Yeah, that's why I say that Division feels more closer to Diablo than it does Destiny.
Yeah, but so far I like Anthem, but I know once I get to the end game, that's where most people got pissed off. And there was supposed to be some big thing about they're supposed to be redoing Anthem, making like an Anthem 2.0, but there was like a big whoop-de-doo at EA about whether they were going to keep financing the Anthem 2.0 thing.
Yeah.
And no one has heard whether they're going to actually allow this thing to happen. So if it doesn't happen, that's going to suck, but I think I'll enjoy the time that I got with it, and just everything will be all right for what it is.
Right. The end game's hard, man. It's hard to make it good. That will make and break a game like that,
Yeah.
Because you don't want it to be too easy and then everyone blasts to it, but you don't want it too hard to where nobody fucking wants to play it. And I think that's what happened with Anthem, to where shit was just so fucking hard to where you were dead before the fucking game would load.
Right.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. So that's what I've been playing. I do want to. I did get 2 Point Hospital for my Switch because work is kind of boring right now. I just haven't actually pulled out my Switch because I rarely think to pull out my Switch. But I bought the game. It's the thought that counted, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's what I've been playing. You want to talk about what you've been watching, and then I'll blaze through mine.
Sure. Mostly what I've been watching, I would just like watch like old YouTube videos of my own game times. It's kind of like, it was more of a comfort thing, just kind of like watching home videos basically. And then I would watch like just old movies, like, and fall asleep. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that was mainly the main thing, and like we're really wanting to get back through our Marvel shit, because I mean because we're right at Doctor Strange, and once you get kind of there, I've seen most of those. You know what I mean? But Amber hasn't. So, but I could like just start WandaVision and be fine, but I know she can't. So I've been holding off on WandaVision, and there's some podcasts that want to talk about WandaVision, and like, oh
Yeah, but I'm caught up. A new episode tomorrow, and it's good. It starts off weird, but like episode 4, everything goes. Oh,
yeah, that's what I heard. But I was down with some weirdness, you know. The but yeah, because we were doing that before watching the Marvel shit before all the shit really even hit the fan with WandaVision coming out, and now all of a sudden this coming out, and now we kind of feel obligated to finish it. You know what I mean? Before we were just watching it to watch it.
Yeah.
Where there wasn't a Marvel shit for a year.
So has she not seen Endgame?
Right.
She's not seen Endgame.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't, like, I would say...
You can't really watch WandaVision without Endgame.
Right. So yeah, I would say it'd be fine if she's seen most of, like, the Endgame-y type, like Infinity War Endgame type movies, but maybe she hadn't seen Doctor Strange or something. You know what I mean? I think it'd been fine then, but like he hasn't seen the main ones, you know.
Yeah.
And we're getting into the shit. Like Doctor Strange is where shit starts hitting the fan. You know what I mean?
Yes. Doctor Strange, with the kind of kaleidoscope acid trip at the end. Other than that, it was actually pretty decent. I thought Doctor Strange went by way too fast. I was like, shit, it's over?
Yeah. But I really think shit starts really getting real at Civil War. You know, like everything's pretty. I mean, shit gets real early on too, but shit don't get to where it's like super like connected. Like
I'm gonna tell you something that I found out recently. This is what I found out recently. Endgame would not exist in the way that it exists without Ultron. Ultron is the one that people say that they don't like very much, but there are so many things that tie directly to Ultron. It's crazy. I watched a video where someone was like, yo, you do realize that Ultron is the most important movie in the MCU. And like, I was like, man, bullshit. After that video, I was like, you know what? You're right, dog. Like, there's so much stuff that gets paid off in Endgame that gets set up in Ultron. It's crazy. So like, you gotta have Ultron.
Yeah, I didn't mind Ultron. I don't know if it's just like super nerds or whatever, but like some people just get like their panties in a bunch of some shit, and I'm like, it's fine. It was fine. Like, you know, it's fine.
Yeah, I've watched in the past few weeks. I have watched both Infinity War and Endgame again.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching reactions to the Marvel movies and stuff, and it made me want to watch those movies again. So I definitely have watched those. Those are a part of my watch. And I know people love Infinity War more than Endgame, but I think I love them equally.
Hmm.
I love them equally. And you know what? I'm not going to tell too many people this, so I feel comfortable telling you this. But On Your Left still makes me cry. I don't know what it is. I think it's Portals. Portals. If I listen to Portals,
mm-hmm.
Which is the song that's playing after On Your Left, it gets me. I get misty every fucking time. It's Portals. I don't know what it is.
Huh.
I have no idea what it is, but that song, I watched a video where it's like a bunch of trombones. Somebody did an arrangement and it's a bunch of trombones on a stage and they're all playing Portals. And there's that one part where it just really kicks in and it gets me every time. Fucking Portals, man.
Fucking Portals, man. Yeah, that music, man. Like people don't. I mean, I think yeah, people do put a lot of um credit to music producers or whatnot, but I don't think they put enough. Even the much how much they already do, I don't think it's enough to where like video games, movies, and whatnot. Those uh music and sound design, even sound design. I was just watching Terminator 2, and then I watched some like behind the scenes shit about like the sounds of the morphing of the T2000, and how he had to get that shit right.
Oh, you don't have to tell me. I listened to a whole podcast about sound.
Yeah, so like those, like that's I think that hits you more than anything else, and it makes it to where the writers don't have to like do as much because like they'll let that music and that shit hit you versus like a comedy like say The Office that has like very little music. Like all that shit is on those writers and the camera work and the actors and stuff. The music ain't gonna be doing any sort of pulling or anything, you know, because those music people, they can pull you in directions to where the writing and whatnot just can't do.
Yeah. All right, you got anything else?
I think I'm good, man.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to run down mine fast, and then we can wrap this up. I just started catching up to my DC TV shows. Black Lightning and Batwoman. Batwoman is fucking weird because, of course, the lady who played Batwoman decided she didn't want to do it anymore. So now they got a black lady as Batwoman, and it takes a couple of episodes to really get started because they have so many loose plot threads that they have to try to tie up. In order to like, okay, now we have this other person going forward, but there's still one plot thread about what happened to the original Batwoman because she's not playing the same character.
Okay.
So it's a completely different character, and she's a black lady. And it's the last episode. Episode 4, is so real, and they go to a place that I don't think very many TV shows would go into. Not just like superhero shows or anything like that. They go to a place and they talk about some things that I can't believe that someone actually made. You would think that it would be on something, that this would come up on something like Black Lightning, but they did it, and they did it very well. The only problem is they still have the other plot lines that they should have dropped for this episode. It should have been all around this.
Yeah.
Because they had to get to other plot lines. There are some plot holes. Like, how the fuck did this person get from here to there? They were just here a scene ago. You know, like that type of thing. But if we would have just focused on this one thing, and you could have had the time to explain and not have to deal with this other storyline, and you could have explained how this person got from here to there in that time frame, it would have been a lot better. And then Black Lightning has 2 episodes. Man, this shit is good. And you know, it's the last season. And like what the main family of the show is going through, even though, like, you know, most of them are superheroes in some sort, they're still a family, and some of their issues are like family issues and not superhero issues. And some of that shit is like so relatable. I really dig it. And so far it's been really good. So I watched the Netflix movie Outside the Wire. It's Training Day with fucking robots. I started watching Snowfall. I'm only like just like maybe 2 or 3 episodes in, so I can't really call it right now. It's been very interesting so far, but I can't really say anything else about it because I'm only like a few episodes in. I watched a season of The Expanse. The Expanse is a really good fucking TV show. If you have Amazon Prime, you should totally watch The Expanse. I'm not saying anything else. I'm caught up on WandaVision. WandaVision turned from what the fuck is this to holy shit, what the fuck? It's really good, and like I'm amped to get to the end of this to try to figure out what the fuck's actually really happening here, and to know that as soon as this season is over, fucking Falcon and Winter Soldier is gonna start right after that. No breaks in between. Fuck yeah, man! Like we don't have that thing, that Mandalorian type thing, where I actually kind of the Mandalorian led into WandaVision, kind of. So like as soon as that was over, it was like, well, we got WandaVision now, and then everybody was like, well, the only problem with WandaVision is the episodes are too fucking short. Like all of them are around 30 minutes so far. The last few are supposed to be longer, but the biggest problem with WandaVision is the episodes are way too fucking short. And then, like I said, I watched.
Well, that's good if you're trying to get caught up.
Yes, I watched Endgame and Infinity War. Still great fucking movies. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not a hater, but those are great games. I mean, great movies. They would probably be pretty decent games if someone could actually turn it into like an Ultimate Alliance type game. And then I watched the
we can always play since you were trying to like go back to Anthem, we can go back and try that Avengers game.
No, that game is terrible. They just released some new DLC, and it's like Hawkeye DLC. And this is the second Hawkeye that both of the DLC characters that they added post-launch have both been two different versions of Hawkeye. A Lady Hawkeye and now actually Hawkeye has something to do with the future. And the future version of Hawkeye is basically a reskinned version of their version of Tony Stark. It's just the Tony Stark model with gray hair and glasses that's supposed to be Hawkeye from the future. And Maestro, which is a future version of the Hulk, looks fucking terrible. Really fucking terrible. And I don't want to play a game where every character has a battle pass that costs $10. I'm sorry. I don't really do a whole lot of post-launch content. I did for The Division. That's the first time I've done that in quite some time. I watched the Showtime documentary about Wu-Tang of Mics and Men. Mm-hmm. They put all 4 parts onto YouTube, and that was really good. Wish my brother was here to see it. But we were Wu-Tang fans, and it makes me think of my brother. I watched a Motown documentary. I've seen several Motown documentaries, but in this one, most of it was like Smokey and what's his name? The guy in charge of Motown. I lost the train of thought right now.
Gordy.
Barry Gordy. Yeah. A lot of it is in their own words. It's them being recorded for this. And so I watched that. BET networks have put the first episode of the Bobby Brown movie and the New Edition movie on YouTube. I wish they put the rest of it up there because I don't want the BET app so I could see the rest of it again. I watched the New Edition movie on a Fire Stick and the quality was fucking terrible. I really wish that they would put the rest of this on YouTube. And then I started watching a new YouTuber. His name is Venom Lion. Well, I mean, he's French Canadian, so he's Venom Lion. And he started playing the Halo games for the first time. And watching someone like experience Halo for the first time was so interesting to me. And like this dude, not only was he like a YouTuber because he had to stop, which is why I'm mentioning him. Like he is also a game designer. He's a professional level designer. And he works for, I think he said one of the things that he's done that he can actually talk about, he's done work on the DLC for Borderlands 3. But watching someone experience Halo for the first time has been like really dope. And then like I've been watching people experience all of these games, like the Division and like a lot of the Ubisoft stuff, like Ghost Recon Breakpoint and all that kind of stuff for the first time. It's like really cool. But like I really liked him. But he had to stop because he said it was taking up too much of his time. And even it was like he's like, if it was taking up too much of my time during a pandemic, what's going to happen when this pandemic is over? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it really sucks, but I really liked him. And I think that's it for me. Did I go through it fast enough? I think I went through it fast enough. I'm still watching a shit ton of YouTube. YouTube. Doing the YouTube. And I think, and I've been listening to a lot of music lately, but most of it is like old, like R&B stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I missed out on a pretty decent amount of R&B. Let me tell you something that I found out. So I listened to Questlove Supreme, right? Listen to Questlove Supreme, and I saw there was a throwback episode because sometimes he uploads old episodes from like 2017, 2018, and they had Darius Rucker on. And you know that I am not a fan of country music, and I know he does country music now. I think that he is wasted in country music. I think he has a very, very good.
Wow.
I lost you for a second. You still there?
Yeah. You
Okay.
just completely left for me.
Yeah. It said connection. I had some connection issues. Where did I stop?
You said that Darius Rucker has a really good voice.
Yeah, I think he has a really good voice, and I think that he is wasted by just doing country music. And so apparently Darius Rucker has an R&B album that was released in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you, this shit isn't bad. I listened to it. It is not bad at all. There is the actual title song, the title track, Back to Then.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like, I listen to this song and I'm like, yo, did this nigga just pull off a Jodeci song? Cause it sounds like a Jodeci song. I mean, I don't know how, you're white, I don't know how much you know about Jodeci, but yo, it's like the style is very similar to a Jodeci song. The harmony of the chord harmony of the chorus and everything is very Jodeci like. And I'm like, yo, this nigga just pulled up a Jodeci song. And I thought it was crazy, but yeah, I did that and I listened to that, and I've just been listening to a lot of old music, a lot of R&B stuff, especially because I listen to a lot of R&B stuff when I'm making candles for some reason. I can't really jive to anything else. I listen to R&B stuff and like the post-disco, some disco, but post-disco boogie era, that Michael Jackson off the wall era of music.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of that. So yeah. So I've been listening to a lot of music, a lot of old stuff, and I just feel, it makes me feel bad. And I'm just like, yo, I completely missed out on all of this good stuff. And like I always said, that I feel bad that I missed out on Stone Temple Pilots when Stone Temple Pilots was a thing, because I really like Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah. I
feel the same way about Maxwell now. Now, you may not know who Maxwell is.
I know who Maxwell is.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same about Maxwell now. It's like, at the time, I was into like shit like Wu-Tang, and I ain't even talking about no Maxwell.
That was kind of like my thing about a lot of R&B and stuff, to where like there's some stuff to where I'm like, I can dig this, you know what I mean? But a lot of it was like, I mean, it's gonna sound sexist, but at the time, you're like, I'm a dude, and this is like I'm listening to a romantic comedy or something. Like it's like romance music, and I'm like not really into the romance music. You know what I mean? But
Well,
like
my thing always was these dudes can say what I wish I could say better than I can say it.
mhm.
That's how I viewed it, and that's why I was able to listen to these dudes sing these love songs and stuff like that. Is because like this is something that I wish I had the vocabulary and the skill to say to my lady. You know what I mean? That might be why me and my lady are not like jiving right now. But but like that's how I've always felt. So that's the but like yeah, this stuff I thoroughly enjoy this stuff, and like YouTube music is fucking great because all you have to do is think of a song, right?
Mhm.
You think of a song, and then it makes the rest of the fucking playlist for you. So like as soon like you say, I want to listen to Blame It on the Boogie, right? I want to listen to Blame It on the Boogie. So you put on Blame It on the Boogie, and then it makes the rest of the fucking playlist for you with songs from around the time of Blame It on the fucking Boogie. And that shit is fucking dope. I dig that. And maybe this is a feature of other apps. I don't use other apps. I use Google Music. Google Music did this a little bit, but YouTube Music does this a lot. Even like if you're listening to an album, when that album is over, it makes the rest of a fucking playlist of songs similar to what was on this album.
Other things do that. Even my Plex server, but like it's gotta be similar enough to other shit. Because some shit, it's like, oh, I'm listening to this one album, and it's like, yeah, we're just gonna play the album again because I can't find nothing like that. but like most of the time, it'll be like, well, this is from you know, like 95. I don't play other things around 95 if it has, you know. But that's just my Plex server, just music I own. You know what I mean? Like actually own MP3s, but like other things like Spotify and stuff will do that. But you know, it's just they're all the fucking same. Like everyone's like, which one's better? Like pick whatever ones you're paying for. You know. There might be features that are similar or dissimilar and whatnot. Like, I do try to gravitate to ones that have gapless playback because I listen to a lot of albums. In some albums, the songs will bleed into each other, and it does bother me when there's like a song that's supposed to bleed in. Yeah, that one little pause. And Spotify and Plex are really good about the gapless playback. So.
Yeah, kind of listening to an album a recent album that's made by Timbaland is like the worst for something that has that, because like almost every song, like one of my favorite albums, is the one that he did with what's his name, from the grunge dude that passed away. Well, actually,
Chris Cornell.
Yeah, the Chris Cornell. All of those songs lead into each other. Mm-hmm. And if there's a gap, it fucks the flow up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know why I can't think of names right now. It's weird, but I think we did a pretty good show.
Yeah.
And if anybody, if y'all see me on, like I appear offline a lot, but if y'all see me on and I'm playing like Anthem or Division or some shit like that, I had to download an update to Division, and I saw Mr. Matt online, and I was gonna join Mr. Matt, and by the time my upload finished, he was gone, and that sucked because I was like, shit, I like playing the Division. I could play Division with Mr. Matt. I was good, and like I was waiting for the update to finish so that I could send him a message and be like, yo, have you played through New York or not? So I know which character to use.
Yeah, that's why, like, at the very basis, these games need cross save. I don't understand how that's not wasn't like a thing to where it just released that way back in like 2014. Like, cause it's all online anyway. You can't play the game without an internet connection. Why is my account not linked between my Bungie account or my Ubisoft account. Why is this not a thing? Like,
Yeah, I really wish the Division did that. I really, really, really wish the Division did that, because I know a lot of people who play, but they play on other platforms, and I know a few people who play on PC, and I can't play on PC because I had to put my money to something else instead of upgrading my video card. You know what I mean?
right. But I mean, cross save won't really help you with that as much it would you just playing on PC.
I want cross play.
Right, but
play also.
Yeah, I mean, cross play is the ideal, but at the very least, what I'm saying is like, I understand cross play is kind of hard, but cross save should have been something that was.
Most people say cross play isn't very hard at all. It's the platform holders that don't want this shit to happen.
Right.
Like what they did with game with the soccer race car.
The Rocket League.
Rocket League. Yeah, because remember the Rocket League people turned that shit on and they said, oh, it was an accident. They turned on crossplay and then they had to turn it off because of Sony.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what makes crossplay hard is because of that. But cross save should not be an issue. Like, it doesn't make sense to where, like, I can see how crossplay to where, like, now I don't have to buy another copy of this game. But cross save, you still have to buy another copy of this game, but at least it gives you an incentive to buy another copy of that game. Like, yeah. What the fuck? Like, it should.
Very much so. I get that. I really do. But I think cross-play should be more standard. It's there. You can do so much. Like, at least you get a game sold. And if they can play with their friends, they're likely to play your game longer. And then when you do something like the Division and you release New York, more people will be willing to buy New York because they're still playing the game with their friends.
Because I think that's one of the main reasons Fortnite is so huge, is the fact that it's pretty much playable on everything, and it's
Rocket League. We just spoke about Rocket League. Rocket League, you can't play. I think you can't play Xbox to PlayStation, right? You can play either one of those platforms with PC,
right?
But then they came up with that other game, that Monster Hunter type game that's cross-play. Was the free-to-play game?
Mm.
What's that game?
Monster Hunter? Oh, Dauntless.
Yes.
Yeah, but
yeah. All right, I think we did it. I think we did it here. You got anything else?
Oh, for game nights and stuff, like, I do want to, like, have more cross community game nights because, like I said, I was playing, like, the golf with your friends with the Bad Fodder Figures people, and there's a game coming to Game Pass that seems like a game night type game, which is called Wreck Fest, and it seems like a Burnout or Demolition Derby type game that would be, you know, because those type of games make the best game night games because
I've downloaded it, but I've never played golf with your friends.
Well, we mostly have played on PC because of just the ease of most people having it there, and we thought it would have crossplay, but it doesn't, even though there's a Game Pass for PC has it on there, but even the Xbox version through the Xbox app isn't crossplay, so
yeah,
we just assumed, you know.
We should tell everybody to play live, and then we should play private matches of live.
Yeah, I do a lot of assuming with, like, a lot of features like that, man. Because actually, if anybody was, like, wanting to play the game I was talking about, the Medium, I was playing on PC, and I just assumed that it was on, like, Xbox One. But no, that is a Series X exclusive. And, like, because Amber was like, I want to play that. I was like, well, it's on the Xbox. You download it. Because I assumed, because that was the rhetoric, right? Everything plays on everything, and then until it doesn't. And I'm like, and it's always the most random shit. Like, Halo doesn't have crossplay. Medium's not on Xbox One. I'm like, what? Like, Like, these are the two things that should be on everything. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why is the medium the one game that's only on the Series X?
Yeah, at the very least, it should be Xbox and PC because, like, it shouldn't be very hard for Microsoft to do that because they own both platforms.
Yeah, I was playing on PC, so I assumed that it was on our one, but no, it's Series X exclusive.
Yeah, I think,
and PC, but
I hope I can get one soon. I don't see that coming anytime soon because I'm like, I have to pay for an apartment and I have no idea how I'm going to pay for all of that. So I don't know. Like, so I'll be moving in a few weeks. I'm not quite sure about internet and stuff yet. So I don't know if the show might take another small hiatus until I get that figured out. I'm not quite sure. So
I can go to where, like, how I was doing it for like a year or so when you were just doing it on your phone.
maybe it might have to be a thing. I don't know. But the closer we get to that, the more I will have an idea of how that's going to work.
McDonald's Wi-Fi.
No. I know this works. I know this app that we use works on the phone. It might just have to be a phone thing. So.
And you're not gonna like, rather, I just got talking about all this coronavirus shit. And you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna go sit in McDonald's for a while around a bunch of people that probably don't wash or anything.
Right. So yeah. All right. So I thank everyone for checking us out. I know you haven't been here the whole time, but it seems like you've been here for a very long time. So like these 11 years have been really fucking dope to be able to produce this content for everyone here that's listening, whenever you listen. The people who are going back and downloading the old episodes, like whenever you get to this episode, thank you.
It still feels like I'm like new, but then when you really think about the time between, like, didn't I start like 2016 or 17? That's like almost half of that time. So I'm like, that's not that. I've been doing this for a while.
Yeah. And so, so thank you for checking us out. Do the things, share it, talk to your people about it. I had someone ask me like, why you ain't putting out shows? What happened? So now this is what happened. We finally got together and we finally put out a show.
Yeah.
So thank you. And, hopefully we'll be back in your ear holes. I was gearing up to record some stuff by myself. I think I might do that because there's still some things that I want to discuss that I don't think that is really appropriate for this type of thing. Mm-hmm. Like I wanted to go like full on in on the stuff at the Capitol and all of that kind of stuff. I really wanted to do that, but this doesn't, like, sitting here with me and you, like, it doesn't feel like that's the type of show that we really want to do. Like we do the whole, like, talk about your life and what you've been playing, what you've been watching.
We're here to escape that type of shit.
Yes. But there's times where I want to put on the microphone and fucking speak on some shit. And I think I might have to do that. And like once I move, I have more time for stuff like that. So I may start a little side hustle. And also I want to talk about some, like, the business type stuff that I got going on with the candle making and stuff like that, because, like, I know don't nobody here really want to listen to that shit. So, like, I thought about setting up something separate to talk about those things. Mm-hmm. And maybe just starting a separate feed to pull up some Anchor bullshit and just kind of do that. But I ain't made it all the way to that yet. But actually, I don't think I'm going to do the Anchor thing. I would just post it here. Thank you. I know that during all of these years, you could have been anywhere in your life, but just the few minutes that you decided to spend with us has been phenomenal.
Yeah, man.
and we appreciate you. We appreciate you listening. I appreciate Chase still being here because, like, shit, I fucking cried, dog. I cried, dog. I was like, oh no, I don't want Chase to die. I'm not gonna have a punching bag. But
I'm still here, man. I'm
but
still
yeah,
here, be fucking up words and shit.
yeah. So yeah, man. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad we made this thing work
Yeah.
because I'm surprised to still be here, but you know, I wouldn't still be here if you weren't here.
Well,
That's the truth. I started to get choked up a little bit, but that's 100% truth. I don't know if I could do this show without you.
well, it's kind of hard to do a show by yourself anyway. I mean, I know you can. You can.
It's not hard for me.
Yeah,
it's
you can, but like the motivation to do it is.
Yeah, I could do 45 minutes just riffing.
Yeah.
Look, do you understand? Like when I have to record a video for my Peace Through Colors YouTube videos, I have to cut some stuff out, or I have to just make myself stop talking because I'll be talking about one subject and it'd be like, oh, you've been talking for 20 minutes, dog. Maybe you might want to wrap this up. So like I look at the thing at the bottom of OBS and I was like, oh shit, it's been 15 minutes. And I'm just talking about fucking wax warmers. You know what I mean? Fuck out of here, dude. So thank you, and we'll be back to violate your ear holes real soon. Peace out to the Warriors, yo.
Later. And this time tell your friends. And come on the show. We need guests. Guests are fun.
Okay, we should do that once I move and I get properly set back up. We should do an all guest April.
Sounds good.
It's just gonna have to be April.
Yeah.
We should do that. So if you want to be on all guest April, I'll let you boys
shower us with guests. Is it the April showers?
You just had to get one in, didn't you? You just had to.
Hey, it's been a while. Later.
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Look, I'm telling you, Whoa. I'm telling. All right, I ain't gonna talk.